All right.
All right, do you want to take a quick nap?
Yeah, we could.
Just go to sleep right here. Right now.
I'm so tired. Welcome to episode 35.
Is that what it is?
35. Close Encounters of the Funny Kind. Rolling through, and we are exhausted. These flag football games, we did it with our oldest, and now having two of them. We have a game at 8:30. You got to be there at 8 Saturday morning. It's 40 degrees outside with a wind chill of 35.
It feels like 37.
Yeah, and so did that, and then go into...
Came home long enough to get dinner on the crock pot, wash the dogs, do a load of laundry, and turn around and go right back for a 1:30 game.
Yeah, so the two kids doing it is way more challenging than it used to be with just one. Good Lord.
Not to mention when they play at the same time, and one of us has to coach solo. So
I let Sam coach the young ones because I can't stand it because none of them listen. And it is frustrating.
So instead of me going over and trying to coach 14U,
yeah,
which I don't think DK would have liked if I had stepped in and coach, I got to coach the 6U all by myself Thursday night. And let's just say, still to this day in 2025, some men just aren't comfortable with women doing things that boys can do.
I'll say this. This is at a park where most of the kids play baseball, but they do flag football too.
Don't come at us if we say something about baseball, because
I don't even care.
To be honest, it's not the same level.
The baseball coaches are out of control. I've never been around like actual football coaches that acted the way these baseball coaches act. And it's like I
heard they had to do background checks on them because they've gotten so bad at baseball.
I've told our son since he was young, it's flag football. Even if it's tackle football, if it's youth sports, it doesn't matter.
It's fun.
You're practicing for when you're in high school, or hopefully if you get a scholarship.
Don't get us wrong. We're not participation medal type parents. Like, we believe in winners, first place, third place, and the rest of y'all are losers. We get it. We've been the losers. We've never been in the top 3 before. Well, we get it. We understand that. But when you're running the score up 46-6, and you want to call a flag guarding on me in the final 2.5 minutes,
don't get worked up.
Bite me.
We just some of the coaches are like, I'm like, this is 6U. This is just about at 6U. It's the kids are just learning to play and having fun. And some of these teams, like, they're trying to stack teams, and they've got all the oldest kids and trick plays, and I've got a bunch of kids spinning around in circles, and like they don't even know where to stand. And we practiced, and I'm just like, all right.
Thursday night, I called the game by myself. He was coaching the oldest game, so I coached 6U by myself. At one point, while we were in offense, I was telling the 3 main players what the play was going to be. Now, we always include all the players. Like, you're supposed to line up and just run out. Don't block or guard or anything like that. Just pretend like you have the ball and just run, have fun, run down the field. I turned around and found 2 of my players in a headlock rolling around the backfield.
We have.
I just ran the play. I said, screw it, I don't care.
Yeah, we have the bad news bears 6U football.
Oh my God, we're worse than the bad news.
Let's taste the beer here. We got like spilling stuff everywhere. We got off track here before we even tasted.
I quickly ran into Winn-Dixie.
This is a hard Mountain Dew.
I figured we haven't tried any of the Mountain Dew things yet. We tried the Monster Beast, and I didn't want to do that tonight.
Allegedly, this is a beer. I don't know if it can be considered a beer if it's blue.
We're going to be up all night tonight.
Does this have caffeine?
Am I going to shit blue? It says 0 sugar. When?
800 milligrams of caffeine.
It says contains alcohol right there.
But I'm saying, does it have caffeine?
I don't know.
I don't see anything.
I don't think Mountain Dew has caffeine in it. I think it has sugar.
No, Mountain Dew is loaded with caffeine.
Oh, is it?
Yes. That's why people drink it.
Oh. All right.
This feels like something you should be drinking out by the pool or on the beach or something.
I feel like my shit's going to be green tomorrow. Cheers.
Right there.
I don't like the smell of it. Ugh.
Yeah. Just instantly. This is something like it doesn't. I mean, you could.
I don't think I could drink that by the pool.
I feel like it'd be good. You throw this thing in a blender. Maybe throw a couple shots of rum in it. What do you think? That's not bad. It's not as strong as that monster one we tried. It was real, like, it tasted like a monster. This tastes like watered down Mountain Dew.
The only Pepsi product I like is Diet Mountain Dew, or Diet Dr. Pepper. That's it. I don't like any Pepsi product. Oh,
I mean, it's not terrible. I wouldn't drink a lot of them, but
you can buy those in a variety pack.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you guys want to watch something really fun as this episode unfolds? Give me one.
One what?
Sam tries Zen for the first time.
Oh.
Where's Tom Segura and Bert? Because they would love how this is going to unfold.
Sam did one of these the other day. She did one at a youth tackle football game because she was stressed out. And she did one the day after our football games. It was in for like a minute and a half, and Sam started to, like, why is everything moving? I'm like, it's just a little bit of nicotine. You'll be...
All right, so back in my day, I grew up in the redneck side of town. Like, I chew tobacco, and I've done dip. The pouches lose everything, and it really didn't bother me that much, but this the other night...
You haven't had any nicotine in like a decade, so
yeah,
it's like you're like,
and it literally trips me out that I can swallow. Haha, that's what she said.
She did say that. Well, here, what do you want? Pour your beer in here, I guess, so you at least have a cup. There you go.
Oh, it's tainted.
Tastes a little bit like Mountain Dew.
But yeah, so.
I wanted to talk about this. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna get crazy about it. Okay. But me and Sam talked about this. I'm like, I don't even know we should talk about this on the podcast.
Which thing?
The California wildfires.
Oh.
And I'm going to be very careful when I say this. I do feel bad for people that have lost their houses, lost everything, because I've seen videos of people that aren't wealthy, but the celebrities posting, or the people, like, I keep seeing on the news where they're posting like beachside, like $10 million houses burned down, and I'm like, I'm really struggling to feel the sympathy for you there. Like, if Kim Kardashian's house burns down, I think she'll be okay. Yeah. She's not displaced. She's got money to go somewhere. Like, I guess it's just compared to like what happened in North Carolina, where those people, like,
they still don't have anything.
They're just working class people that didn't have somewhere to go or something to.
They had a house just like you and I. We work every day. We work for the house we have. It wasn't paid off for. So, like, it wasn't extravagant living or anything like that. Ooh, look at you.
There you go.
But, like, the people in West North Carolina, still to this day, on January 10th.
Yeah, the roads are still blown out.
Right? Like, I saw a video today where they're trying to get filtered water to them. Like.
This was, like, what, 6 months ago, probably? It was, like.
October.
Oh, I guess not. But
when I went to Wisconsin is when Helene came through.
But still, like, I mean, I guess, like, I'm just saying, like, the whole thing of, if you've got $10 million for a beachfront condo, I don't feel bad that you're gonna have to buy a new couch, you know, and a new refrigerator. Like, you got the money. Like,
or I'm sorry, and I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I don't care. I saw a couple of the Bravo housewives saying, "Oh, please pray, send money, donate, do all of this to California." But when I went back and looked on your pages, I didn't see shit from you in September or October or November for any of the hurricanes that came through on the East Coast. And by the way, motherfuckers, you're in New York and New Jersey. You're on the East Coast.
All right,
support us.
I want to show you. I'm
a little salty.
Settle down. I got this video, and I've seen a couple of these. There's some weird stuff going on out there in California.
They're burning the evidence.
No, watch this. There's a UFO that flies through this.
Oh, I think I saw this. I want to burp, I'm afraid.
Look right there. You see it? Mm-hmm. Like, I've seen multiple videos, and I'm going to post this in here.
So did they start the fires? Actually, no, they didn't, because there's pictures of people starting fires.
But I've seen some conspiracy stuff, not just about who's like normal people starting them, but I've seen there's been a lot of UFOs and stuff and like weird lights and stuff that people are posting about going over the fires and some of this that seems very strange. Like, I'm like, what in the world? Like, did aliens start them? I don't know.
I think the Zen hit.
You okay? Are you gonna go lay down? It's okay. I had one other clip I wanted to show you because I'm
such a lightweight.
So some of this stuff I haven't tagged you in some of this stuff because I wanted to save it for the podcast. I thought this was funny. So this is in like South America or Indonesia.
What the fuck is that?
It's a crocodile.
It has arms.
They're doing that. The post says that they're trying to get people lured in to come rescue, to act like it's a person drowning. I don't know if that's... Yeah. I was like, alligators are evolving. We're fucked. Like,
we are fucked. If the alligators are evolving, we're fucked.
So I saw that. I thought it was funny. I was like, what is this? What is happening? You know, like just the whole. It's got his like claw stretched out.
Are these all your saved videos?
Oh yeah, I saved so much crap.
Oh my god.
They're so like.
Do you know what my saved videos are? Workout videos.
Look, it's just like conspiracy. Like we haven't even, like this is like if like we need an episode, I can dig back through here and find us something. You know, like
let's talk about Joe Rogan predicting. He talked to a firefighter 6 months ago. It was back in July, so it's probably less than 6 months, 7 months, somewhere around there. He talked to a firefighter from LA, and the firefighter said, "We're dry."
Well, no,
he said if we get the perfect fire and the perfect Santa Ana winds, is that what it is?
He said we luck up with the winds. Mm-hmm. He said that's the only way it dies down. He said because he said if we get the right, or he said if we have high winds, he said it'll burn everything from like the woods or whatever to the coast. Yeah. He said it'll burn all of LA. He said there's nothing we can do to stop it. Yep. Because it's so big. It's just thousands of acres burning.
When it blows, is it Santa Ana winds? Is that what it is? It's something like that.
I mean that's a thing, but I don't know if that's what's causing it.
Yeah, it is.
But like you can see the wind blowing.
It's like hurricane first winds.
I mean, like they said there's like 40 mile an hour winds, so it just feeds the fire and it just blows embers on everything. I mean, it's like
trees are on fire. I feel bad for all of them because here in Florida we've had our fair share of fires. We go through droughts. We have
Florida gets a lot of rain though. California's dry. That's the problem.
We've had dry summers where we're not even allowed to set off fireworks. Yeah. We can't even have bonfires. We can't have a fire in our backyard. Nothing.
We do it because this is America, and we don't believe in communism.
Sometimes down south gets a little more dry than we do up here.
Florida, it rains it rains a ton. Like it rains constantly in Florida. So
and it's been raining. Oh.
It rained this morning.
Yeah, it did. It rained at 2 a.m. this morning. But we have a forest plant, which I'm pretty sure we do. And correct me if I'm wrong.
What happened to your beer?
That's my beer. I can't drink it. It tastes like the Baja thing. I can't drink it. But
do you want another glass?
We clear our forests. Like we actually have people that go out, I think, and clear out our forests. Where I read in California, they don't. If a tree falls, they don't go clear it out. Even after 6 months after it falls, they don't go clear it. And after 6 months, when it falls here in Florida, that's dead, dry wood. In Florida, where it rains. So I can only imagine what a tree...
Let me ask you a question. If a tree falls in the woods, but nobody's there to hear it, did it make a sound? You've heard that before, right?
Yeah, it makes a sound.
But if nobody's there to hear it, does the sound exist?
Oh, hi. I'm like...
That's the clean glass I just got you. Like,
sorry.
What is happening?
I can't. Oh my god, I'm like dizzy.
Like,
whew. I asked Cody the other day. I was like, "Is this what people feel like when they?" So I have smoked a cigarette before. Don't get me wrong, guys. Like I have smoked a cigarette before. But like, when you smoke over and over and over again, like you're an addictive smoker. Do you get the same high every time you smoke, or is it just an addictive thing of having something in your hand in your mouth?
Like, I told you don't. All right. I want to talk about this.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't function. I couldn't do this at work.
We were talking earlier about this.
How do people smoke and go to work?
Because they smoke all the time, so it's not like not like they're in their car like, oh yeah.
I cannot imagine sitting at my computer right now trying to
type. So you're just gone for the rest.
I could not do this at work. Oh my god.
See how calming it is?
It's calming, but I just want to go lay down and watch reels on my phone.
Man, I'm burping it up over here. You're missing out. That's why at the youth football games, first thing, bam, right in there.
Oh my god! In the outfield of the Little League football or Little League baseball field where we play football, there are these little pouches all over in one area, and I think it's the first base coach of.
It could be me.
No, you're not putting out 10 of them a night. Are you?
No, I'm not that big, but I put out a few because after you get about 20 minutes in, you pop another one in.
Oh my god. It's doing it again. Like my feet are tingling. I gotta take my boots off.
What are you doing?
Oh my god.
She's undressing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an exclusive. We're going to switch over to OnlyFans. She's stripping down. What's happening?
I don't know.
We're getting excited. We're going to have to take this back to the bedroom. You all right? You got it? I'm going to pop a zen in you more often. You get hot and take it off. Woo!
Oh my god, I'm so warm and dizzy.
That's fun. It's a little date rapey or something going on. I'm going to talk for a minute. You could just gather your thoughts if you want.
Did you just drug me?
I took one too, and I'm not stripping down. I don't have pants on though, but I never have pants on. I do the podcast in boxers, just to keep it.
Whoa.
Why don't you drink a sip of your beer there?
I'm a lightweight. I can handle my liquor and my alcohol, but Lord, give me some nicotine. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's why people do it. But
how do you go back to work after you do that? How do you do
I do it at work. I do it at work. I'm like, just put these in. I hate this.
One of the companies I used to work at, we had to ban dipping at your because we used to have some guys that used to spit in a water bottle or like a can or something like where you couldn't see like their spit. We had to outlaw it because they were doing it so frequently. Yeah. But it kept them from going outside and smoking. So it was productive, but it was disgusting.
All right, I want to talk about this. We talked about this before about like reincarnation. Okay, so I know we talked about it earlier, and Sam brought up something she had heard, which I had not, which I haven't looked into this at all. But Sam said she's heard.
Can I tell what I heard, and then you can say what you heard?
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe in all the spiritual, like born in the afterlife kind of thing, because I think I'm a reborn like hippie sort of thing, and so I've heard these conspiracies around birthmarks. And they say whatever your birthmark is how you died. You may hold it.
I'm just gonna hold it for you. I'll just hold it right here.
How you died. Stop. How you died in your past life. So they say depending on how it's shaped is the wound that you sustained when you died. So if it's a circular, it could be a gunshot wound. It could be an arrow because arrows are very right. If you have one that kind of runs in a straight kind of way, it's a knife, like a Viking, like an axe, or like a knight sword kind of thing. And I have seen like the straight line birthmarks before. You have one. It's in your back.
Yeah.
And
I have like a small, just a small dark spot. It's like kind of on my shoulder blade.
Almost in his spine. It's very close to his spine. Very close that if it happened in like the 1800s, he would have died from it. So.
Well, let me say this. So I have my. That one sounded rough.
Oh. So, chili. We had chili tonight for dinner.
My grandmother was half Cherokee. So I guess I'm a quarter Cherokee. That's where I get my beautiful dark.
Oh my God.
Dark skin that I tan so well. Which thanks, Grandma.
Did you meet her?
I did. Yeah, it's my mom's grandma.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
She died when I was like in high school.
That's right.
Like when I was like 16 or so.
Was she very teen? Did she look?
She was. Yeah, she was very like olive complected. Didn't necessarily. I mean, she's like 70 plus.
I don't know the wording.
But
do you call them Indian?
They say Native Americans, but I mean, I don't have a problem with Indian. I mean, that's what they called them. Side note, they called them Indians because when they sailed here, they thought they were in India. So that's where that name came from. Okay. Right. But they were like, oh, there's a whole other piece of land here we missed. But
whole continent.
Side note,
continent. Country?
The more you know, you know. But I don't know where I was going before that. But mine's like in my back. So Sam was telling me this was like earlier, like we were eating dinner and stuff. And I was like, well, maybe like I had an arrow or something, you know, in past lives. But
so they say, supposedly, the conspiracy or theory or whatever you want to call this, conspiracy theorist, whatever, is if you don't have one, you died peacefully, which means you died of a natural cause or you had some type of disease and you just died.
I have a question. What if you got hit by a cannonball in a battle? Like it just,
I don't think you...
It hit you in the chest.
So
do you have like
No. So here's my theory around this is, have you ever seen anyone with a birthmark like across their neck where like they got their throat sliced? No, because I think if you're decapitated, you're dismembered, a cannonball would dismember you. It literally would blow off your body or blow a hole through you. I don't think you're reincarnated. That's me.
That's rough.
That's just me.
You don't get an extra life?
Because I've never seen anyone with a huge blow to their chest with a huge birthmark. I've never seen anyone with a birthmark across
maybe
their
the
neck.
Birthmark thing just doesn't hold ground then. Maybe that disproves it.
Why are you going to blow my shit?
Oh. What if you get your arm chopped off? I've seen a lot of Game of Thrones, a lot of Vikings.
Have I ever tried to disprove one of your conspiracy theories?
Yes, constantly.
No,
constantly. Every time I've talked about one, you try to disprove it. Yes, 100%. Every time. You're like, wow, that could be AI. Or...
So here's what's really interesting. So our youngest, when he was born, this was our first time experiencing this, and we never heard it from anyone else. He had what they call a Mongolian birthmark.
Yeah.
And it was very, disturbing maybe?
It's just dark.
When you changed his diaper, his whole, like if this is his back, his whole like hip area on the back side where his little butt was, and all of this was literally black and blue.
They look purple. We were like, we didn't drop it. Like we've done this before. This is child number 2.
We were like, shit, what happened? Was it like a birth like trauma to him? But he was a C-section baby, so he was just pulled from it. And so we asked the doctor, and he told us, he said it's called a Mongolian birthmark, and it's commonly found in those that are olive skin.
Yeah.
That have some type of descendant of...
Well, and they say like we talked about this on one of the early episodes, but Genghis Khan fathered like thousands of kids. It's insane. Like his descendants.
Well, that could explain his roughness.
His descendants are just like there's something crazy. Like 1 in 8 people, wild. Like Asian people, or in that region, have his DNA or something. It's wild the amount of children he fathered.
But I had never met anyone else that experienced that with their kids, and I found out someone that I know has a child who is very young who has the same thing. And he said his doctor said it was called a Mongolian birthmark. And he knew exactly what I was talking about. He said they were concerned about the whole thing too. And it's just wild because in all of our circles that we know of everybody, no one's ever talked about it. So I don't know if it's just something that's not talked about, or if people just are like, it's just a baby thing. It's baby trauma. It's birth trauma. It's this and that. But then I noticed in his eye, and you said you've never noticed
I've never seen this.
But I think I stare into his eyes a lot because they're beautifully brown. They're perfectly brown. Like, you have pretty brown eyes, but our youngest has beautiful brown eyes, and I'm always looking at him, and he has 2 brown spots on the inside of his eye.
So did he get stabbed in the face?
So I almost wonder that, like, did he get an arrow to the face?
Stop.
But I asked the doctor. I said, "What is that?" And he said, "Sometimes they have a birthmark in their eyeball."
You had to show me this when this is over.
And I said, "Will he ever outgrow it?" And he said, "Possibly, but most likely not, because of the pigment in his eyes and his skin tone and all these aspects. He may never outgrow it." And he's got these 2 perfectly hazel brown spots right in the crease of his eye right here.
I've never seen this.
They're very faint, but you can see them. And they don't move. They're still there.
You got to show me.
Okay, I'll show you. We'll hold him down, and I'm like, "Look, it's right there."
You can just say, "Come here, let me look at you." But I did want to mention this, and this is something I had mentioned to you before.
But Jackson doesn't have a birthmark. He's just like me.
He had one on his foot, I think.
You have one on your foot, so you have 2.
Yeah, I have a birthmark on my
the inside of your right. I think it's your right foot.
Oh, yeah.
It's on the inside where normally you wouldn't
circle.
have a birthmark. It's on the
arch,
like the palm of like the foot.
Yeah.
But it's on the arch part. He's got one there, but he also has one on his back. So you clearly, I'm going to go ahead and say it. You've been in battle.
So I want to talk about this, and I told you, and we were talking to the oldest one time, and we were kind of talking, and he overheard us, and I don't want to come off serial killery, if that's a word, but I said,
in case I go missing.
I said, like, when I pick up like a knife or an axe or a hatchet, I feel, I don't know how to describe it other than like a connection to it. Mm-hmm. Or like the word I use, like a little zing. Like it just feels right. Like when I chop wood in the backyard, it just feels
natural.
It feels very right. And I almost like I have the desire to like hit the tree with it. Like it's just I don't know if it's just I think that some of it is ancestry and like your DNA travels. So like I would love to be able to see like just like my ancestors, like, because you don't realize how like quick like 5 or 6 generations ago was. That was a very primitive time. Like we talk about like the 1800s was just wild.
But that wasn't a long time. If you think about when we were born and we were kids, the 1800s really weren't that long before we were born.
Like I even feel it picking up like a. And this is where I'm not Dexter or anything, but like if I pick up a big knife and like I'm cutting steaks or stuff, it just feels very like it's like I don't want to say a flashback, but it like I feel something, and it's not like, oh, I gotta go kill some people, but it feels like I've done this before, and even playing with like the kids like little revolvers or like when like we've gone shooting and stuff. It's just like it clicks.
When you guys have gone hiking through the little marsh woods by our house, you're in your element. It feels like
even outside,
you're not really a redneck kind of guy, but you're ready to walk through and explore and look at all.
And like even like starting fires and stuff. Like I've been fascinated with fires. Like I went through fire school because I wanted to play with fire. Like I mean like. I have always been a kid or a grown up. Like I love, like we have a fire pit out in the backyard. I love making a fire and just starting it up and just sitting there and just sitting by the fire and hanging out. But it just feels like it brings you back to kind of like your ancestors, kind of where like I can almost feel that, like when you're sitting around a fire like. This, and it's because we've done it for millions of years, and I think some people are more connected to it than others. But I feel that like chopping wood or sitting by a fire or like even like shooting. Like we bought my son like a bow and arrow when he was like 10, for the backyard,
And he loved
he'd
it.
shoot at the target, and just doing stuff like it just feels right. And
Well, like, so you know how you're always telling me, Sam, let me do this. Sam, let me carry that. Let me do this. Let me do that. I think that's my ancestry, that I'm a worker bee. I think I think my ancestor, which I know my mom is Arabic. My grandfather, literally, when he was a boy, came over from Syria at Ellis Island. So I know where that trait comes from.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's me, where I am the person that carries in almost more than half the groceries in one handful by
and
myself.
I'm like Sam. You can make 2 trips. We could.
Or I'm the girl who goes out there and busts out the pallets by herself and puts 2 nails through her foot. Like, I don't shy away from stuff
I think
like that.
that goes back to like
me.
It's like your ancestry. I think feeds into it, and I think it's a good thing. Like, so many people are like disconnected from that. And my ultimate thing, like, I would love to have like a giant ranch or a piece of property in, Tennessee or Montana,
I would take a big piece
Georgia.
of Florida. I wouldn't care.
Yeah, Florida's just so expensive, but I would love to have like a cabin in the woods or something in Georgia, to be able to have fires and just something like that, because it just feels so right when you're at a place like that or you're doing something like that versus like me and Sam talked about, like, when we went back to the office, after Christmas, and you see memes and stuff joking about it, but it's like people say it's harder to go back to work because you got a taste of that freedom, and that, like, sometimes I wish that we were back 100 years or 150 years ago, and you were living on some cattle ranch, and it's a much harder life, but you weren't going into an office, you weren't commuting, you weren't dealing with cell phones, you were doing, like, I don't want to say like hard work, but you were doing work to survive. You were chopping wood, you were hunting, you were doing stuff like that to feed your family, and it seems like a better life sometimes.
So I think sometimes that feeds back to how we live our day-to-day life on the weekends when it's our time.
Yeah.
No one's telling us what to do. So on a Saturday, even when we're not playing football, on a Saturday we wake up, we cook breakfast. It's a very good hearty breakfast. I come in here and I cook, and then we're outside.
Yeah.
We're immediately outside.
Whether it's summer or winter.
Yes, they want to play video games. I'm not going to say that they don't play video games. I'll say they do. But after that, they're outdoor kids. They want to be outside. This is our dog, Fred. She's currently on the up and up. She's been sick. There she is. Hi, Fred.
We got the big French Mastiff. He's somewhere. He's with the boys. But Fred came over and jumped up on my lap. She put her paws on me. Hey,
Fred has been our oldest's baby since he was 4. Or 3. 3. We had a lab before her, but he did not like sharing the spotlight with the oldest after he was born, so we had to rehome him. It wasn't aggressive. He didn't bite or anything. He just...
I think Fred hears us talking. She's like, are you guys talking to me?
So loud.
What are you guys doing? Like, does somebody want to pet me?
Normally when we do this, the boys have gone to bed, so the boys are in their room. So the youngest gets the biggest dog, and the oldest gets the small dog.
Yeah, because that was his dog when he was born. So yeah. Fred's like 10.
So Bear, our French Mastiff, is our COVID dog. So our youngest was born in 2019, and we got Bear in 2020.
Yeah.
So they've kind of grown up together.
Yeah, but I don't know. There's a lot of interesting stuff, and I love this time of year in Florida because we don't get a lot of cold weather. But me and Sam have talked about, like, once the kids are out of school and stuff. And this feeds back into the fire thing. The insurance and stuff is so high in Florida. I don't know if we'll be able to afford to live in Florida in 15 years.
They keep trying to cancel us every year.
Yeah, I mean, and
we don't even live
like insurance companies are pulling out of Florida left and right.
We're not even near the beach.
But I wouldn't have a problem moving into Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, something like that, where you got a little bit more property or whatever, and just to be outside. I love the cold weather. I think I would miss Florida just because I love
going to the beach.
But I feel like if you lived somewhere like that and you had a pool or whatever, it's kind of the same. I mean, their summers are hot, but it goes back to that, like the Ancestry thing we talked about, where in the summer you're swimming and outside in the heat and stuff, and then in the winter you're having fires and you're outside.
Yeah.
It just kind of, I don't know. I just feel like it's good for you to be outside in general as a person. So we try to spend as much time as we can outside.
What did you tell me the other day when you were having kind of a bad couple of days in a row? What did you text me and say what you were going to do when I got home that night?
What I was going to do? What, the grounding thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was something Sam showed me, like...
I've been doing it since our oldest was 4.
So, like, basically, like, you take off your shoes, take off your socks, and you just walk around in your yard.
Go
just
barefoot.
Barefoot. And there's something with...
Mother
they
Nature.
call it grounding, where, it just helps you kind of calm down. And I've done that, like, when I've had a bad day at work or something like that, and I just go outside, I take my shoes off, and I walk around. The kids are outside, I just walk around in the front yard or the backyard with my shoes off, and it just seems to calm you down, because that's what we've done for millions of years.
How many times has the oldest had the flu, and within a day, I take him to the doctor, get confirmed that it's the flu, they give him whatever to help ease his pain and his fever. We very rarely give him all of that medicine. Like, we have an abundance of it built up because of it. But I give it to him for, like, maybe half a dose, because we don't like the Tamiflu. Tamiflu is worse. Don't get me started on that. But when we had COVID, the very first time we had COVID, it was the oldest that got it. The very first time we got it.
He brought it home. Infected the whole family.
It was the end of his 4th grade year. It was the last week. He missed the last day of school. Infected the whole family. And the first day, the doctor scared the shit out of him. And I'm still pissed off about this. And we don't see this doctor. But I'm just saying.
Calm down.
They told us that we had to isolate him and not let him out of his bedroom. And he cried. And I sat in the hallway and I said, come on, we're going out front. And we went out front. He got in the grass, sat Indian style, and just picked at the grass as he sat there. And we sat there with him. And in 2 days, he was better.
Yeah, you just kind of
Actually, 24 hours. He was better the next day.
I mean, it's not. We're not like anti-vaccine or anything like that, or anti-medicine. But I just think there's something to being out in the sun, fresh air. I just think it helps with a lot of stress, and I just feel bad. There's so many people that are so stressed out. Like, just get outside and take a walk sometimes.
Just be barefoot. Just let the sun on your face. You're not going to get, you're not going to get
especially in the winter.
Cancer in 10 minutes
but
standing outside enjoying the fresh
like in the
air.
summer, like, we are always so much, like the whole seasonal depression thing they have, like people say, but like it's because it gets dark earlier and all that, but like get outside. Like, when we come home, like the first thing we do, if we don't have like football practice, which they're outside at that, we're like, let's go outside, go play basketball, go throw the football, go run around. And they like, it's just good just to be outside.
We have spent a good amount of money lighting up our front yard so that during this time of year, when it gets dark at 5:30, we can still go out and play at 6 o'clock at night.
And we got street lights right there. Like,
street lights, like, everything's lit up.
Go play outside.
Go outside.
It's 6 o'clock, it's dark, go outside. Like, we'll turn the lights on and y'all go out there and play. So.
But, yeah.
All right. Oh. You have something else? Go ahead.
Well, I already know we talked about me coaching solo, but I pissed off the other coaches.
I know. Sam fired up all the... Don't go off on a rant.
I'm not going to go off on a rant.
But we're...
So the team we played Thursday night by myself, he had 3 assistant coaches standing on the sideline while he was on the field.
And they're
me.
They're drawing up plays.
They literally were. They had an iPad drawing up plays.
Hey guys, it's 6U
and
flag football.
I let a couple of things go, and finally, the one guy, like one of my kids, was missing a belt. It's just funny because I didn't hear any of it because I was involved in the game, but I had a mom help me on the sideline keep the kids in order that were my subs while he was over coaching on another field, and he comes over and he's like, hey, your kid's missing a flag. I'm like, all right, well, we're on defense, so it doesn't really matter. He goes, we really need to put the flag on him. I was like, we're on defense, so it doesn't matter.
He can't get his flag pulled. He doesn't have the ball.
I took it from him, and I'm literally holding our ball. Then I take the flag from it, and by the way, it's freezing. It's like 39 degrees, and I'm setting up my defense play. And he's like, you really need to put the flag on him. I was like, well, I'm coaching by myself. I don't have 4 coaches, princess. He didn't really like that I called him princess. And I found out after the game from the other mom who was standing on the sideline. She's like, they were talking about you. I was like, talking about me how? She's like, they did not like you. Well, they didn't like that I called that all of his kids had their flags all to one side. So, like,
you're really into flag football. I'm just going to let you know. You are locked into this. And you gave me such a hard time for so many years because I would come home after the game. Sam would sit on the sidelines and be like, why are you so worked up?
No,
and I'm like, you didn't see what he did.
I came home just as worked up as you. But he literally had like 3 of his kids with all their flags on one side.
They're supposed to be spread out.
So they're all on this side on the right side. Well, he ran them up the right side. So there was no flags to pull from the left. And I called him out on it, and he didn't like it. And then he didn't like that I called out that his kids were guarding. And he didn't like that I called out that he was offsides either. I get it. You have your masculinity. You want to be the man. You don't like that a girl came and stepped on your and here's my whole thing. I was scared. I'll admit it on camera. I was scared and I was nervous to do this Thursday night because I
told Sam I say it's 6U football.
But I didn't want to let our team down.
That's the biggest thing, and that's where I got frustrated today.
But you have to understand. At the end of the day, I let the team down as a female. So it looks different.
But you guys still scored some. You scored like 4 or 5 touchdowns. The biggest.
We actually scored a touchdown on an accident, oopsie-loop play.
The biggest thing with coaching sports, and when we got to wrap this up, but when me and Sam have coached, or when I've coached, I feel bad when we lose by a lot, not because we lost, but I feel bad because the kids feel bad, and that's what I don't like. That's where I got so frustrated today is the guy was kind of running up the score, and he's got younger and slower kids. He just had his starters in, just running trick plays and revert, and I'm like, it's 6U football, man. I got kids over here that don't even know how to tie their shoes, and you guys are running like reverses and throwing the ball, and it's a little much.
He did not like it. When I was standing in the end zone. I'm going to just say this, because I'm sorry, because I don't get a lot of credit when I'm out there. I'm not going to lie. There are a lot of guys out there that probably think that I don't know anything about football.
Well, you're coaching, so you do.
I will admit it. I don't know all the ins and outs of football, but I understand the standard of it. And we were already 46-6 at this point, and he was about to score his 2 points or something, or our kids were about to do something and we got pulled, and he called like flag guarding on our kid. We're trying to get out of the freaking end zone, and he was like, flag guarding, and I was like, are you kidding me right now? And he's like, what? And I said, you're up at how many points?
We got 4 minutes left in the game, bud.
He's like, exactly. Like, he was being cocky about it. I said, you're up 40 points. Show a little sportsmanship. He goes, well, I don't know what you're talking about, or something like that. And I said, good sportsmanship. You're showing your kids a lot of good stuff out here.
So I told Sam, I said, if we play them in the playoffs, because we're not gonna beat this team. It's a bunch of kids that are they're playing down, or they just turn.
I think they play down.
They're kids that should be playing up with 7 and 8 year olds and stuff, and that's fine. I mean, if that's how you want to do it. Our son is 12 playing
14U.
So it's supposed to be 14 and 13 year olds. He's 12 and he's playing up with 14 year olds
because he's almost 6 foot.
Because he's better.
And he's
I looked at the 12U team, and I was going to coach there, and I said, buddy, you're drastically better than everyone out here. And I said, you need to go play up and push yourself. You need to play with some harder competition. Granted, like we've won games, but there's some games where we're struggling because he's playing against kids that are 14, about to turn 15, or they've already turned 15. And I said, that's just part of it. But you're challenging yourself. And this guy's he doesn't get it. And that's fine. I mean, people want to do that, and that's how they want to act. And, I told Sam, I said, well, we're not playing him again.
The guy may be a 6 foot, but he's definitely got Napoleon syndrome.
There's a lot of guys that are living through their kids, and they're trying to make up for lost time or whatever, and they want to, I'm like, if you want to feel good about yourself on a 6U football game, knock yourself out. I mean, whatever. But
it's okay. I'm gonna wake up at 2 a.m.
Let's settle
and I'm
down.
gonna feel bad about everything I did today.
You're not gonna feel bad. Everything's fine. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up.
Remember, check your birthmarks. Find out your origin.
That's true. Let us know if you have weird birthmarks.
Yes,
and Sam will tell you how you died in your past life. She'll tell you. Let us know where it is and get some measurements
in your origin. Like, where'd you come from?
Yeah.
Like,
and Sam,
give me some ideas.
Sam will diagnose how you died previously. So that's useful for everybody.
And also, wait, are you Ohio State or Notre Dame fans?
Nobody cares. I hate both of them so much. So much. I'm not even watching the championship. I hate them so much.
I think there's a game on right now. What are we missing?
That's pro football.
Oh, we don't give two shits about
Yeah, the Jaguars are cooked. We're looking forward to the draft and another failed draft pick.
And hopefully a fired GM.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. We will not talk about flag football next few weeks.
Yes, we will. We have 4 more games.
We're gonna talk. We're not gonna talk about flag football next week. Sam got it all out this episode. She's been very pent up. We're gonna move past the flag football.
I'm not done.
I'm not gonna let her talk about.
Oh wait, guys! Remember on January 20th, he enters the 40s. So we're gonna celebrate.
We're not gonna celebrate
the weekend before.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Later.
Bye.